the day that you take your eyes away from the good things that God has done for you. The scripture says, no, it is God who makes you to get wealth. The day you take your eyes off that and you begin to hoard up wealth for yourselves, that's the day the judgment of God will fall on you. The day you take your eyes off from God, who made you strong and mighty, that's the day you will crumple. The day you take your eyes off from God, who caused you to increase and to expand your borders and your boundaries, that's the day your walls will start crumbling down. The day that you forget that it was God who caused in a landmass that had no name, a landmass that nobody knew, a landmass that only had Indians who were cowboys and red Indians. That's how I grew up knowing about the Indians. From small, I grew up hearing about cowboys and red Indians. I've never heard the word native Indians until I came to the US. To me, when I was growing up, until 1991, when I first visited the US, a native Indian was a red Indian. That was the image that was presented to us. A landmass that was just like that. In God's appointed time, Christopher Columbus discovered America. And you know why Christopher Columbus discovered America? That was because the Jews were going to be expelled from Spain. Before they were expelled, God made a place of refuge for His people. Amen? You know the history, right? I just recently discovered that when I was studying about the blood moon. That was the first tetrad blood moon. No? So before they were going to be expelled, and if they were expelled and they had nowhere to go, the entire Jewish nation that were the movers and the shakers would all have drowned in the sea. America would not have become a superpower nation. But Christopher Columbus came, discovered America. God made a place of refuge for His people. And when they were all expelled from Spain, this nation opened its arms and welcomed her. The movers, the shakers, the bright minds, Jewish minds, they all came to the US. You became a superpower, militarily, financially, economically, anything is because of God's people in your nation. Amen? This is the bad truth. Now, from a landmass that was nothing, God lifted you up. God prospered you up. And that is why your founding fathers, when they founded this nation, they bent their knees, they prayed, and they dedicated this land to God. I do not know how much you know about all this. Neither did I, until God showed me. A few years ago, I was preaching in Michigan. And one day, as I was ministering, the Lord showed me. He said, tell these people, the prayers of George Washington is still fresh before my eyes. I don't know anything about the history of the US. So I asked the Lord, what do you mean by that? At that moment, I saw a vision. In the vision, I saw George Washington kneeling like this. Just in this position, his head bowed down, and he prayed with sobbing and with tears, crying for the nation and dedicating her to God. And I saw the tears roll down his eyes and fall on the sand, on the ground. And the ground where his tears fell became soaked with his tears. And the Lord came down, scooped up the sand, and he took it up to heaven, and they are preserved before him. From that day till today, that tears-filled sand is crying out to God for America. You know what they're praying? Lord, have mercy. Lord, have mercy. The prayers of George Washington, God's servant, who dedicated the land to God. He remembers that. But all your subsequent kings have forgotten. Till your present king. All have forgotten the covenant they made with God. Not only the covenant they made with God, but also the covenant they made with God's people, Israel. They have forgotten all that. Now you have become self-centered. Instead of in God we trust, it's become in the mighty dollar we trust. Instead of saying in God's strength we trust, it has become in the might of the military we trust. Instead of looking up to God for everything, you have now begun to look inwards to the greatness of your might, to the greatness of your ability. You have begun to be like how Nebuchadnezzar had become. And judgment fell upon Nebuchadnezzar.
Please click the big red button to subscribe. It really helps me when you do that, and click the bell to allow notifications so you never miss a new video.
Hello, this is Gabriel and Icon, your host this Saturday March 17, 2018. It is a great day. We all wear different suits. We all wear different shoes, but we are doing the same work. I do my ministry this way. I serve God this way. In my little corner, few audiences, but many in heaven that watch my work. And Jesus Christ is with me here as I speak. He always does. He come to my little office here because he considered his office as one of his recognized main offices here in the United States. There are certain people who just don't know how serious this is. Me speaking about God's kingdom and God's work, and I just don't comprehend why people don't recognize that they are alive, not because of the good food they eat or the great medical doctor they have or the money they have in the bank or the intelligence they have. They are only alive because God have allowed them to see another day. They just don't comprehend it. Sorry for the congresswoman who died recently. Many people like her has fallen, but recover. It was just her time. Death for us is not a good thing, because we always mourn those we lost. But God don't see it like that. It is the continuity of our journey. That's why I'm telling you guys, it's not because you have a position or because you believe you have the best doctor or because I'm so beautiful I can't die now. I still have a lot of way to go. God should know that. He should keep me alive so that I can continue to do my things. I'm very beautiful, you know. I increase my butt, I increase my buttock, I increase my eyelids. You know, I look good. So God have to know that I have to live longer. Unfortunately, it's a loss of time and money and energy as well. When your time will come, God will not even allow one more second or 1 second less. You'll be gone, according to how it was written before you were even born. It is called the misery, one of the misery of life. You know, there are 5 of them. One is creation. You never decide about your birth. You just came in this world. Aging is not an option. It's not something that you decide to age or not. You're going to age. Now, getting sick is not an option. You're going to get sick. You want it or not. Difficulties, you're going to have it. You want it or not. It's not a choice. Death, you're going to have it. You want it or not. It's not a choice. Those are the 5 misery of life that are decided only by God. That's the reason why He's in power. That's the reason why He's the one in control of this universe He created. Okay? So you can talk whatever you want to talk. At the end of the day, you're going to go through those 5 misery of life. That's what it is. Now let me start with a joke. This is a guy going to do sport with his friend in a gym, and they exercise by running, lifting weight. And one time they were sitting down talking, and his friend looked at the car parked outside. The car was parked outside in the parking lot, and one of his friends started saying, "Can you see those cars moving?" can you see the car moving? And the friend looked the car are not moving. And he keeps saying, which car are moving? He said, no, the one over there. And then he said, no, the other one is moving too. His friend looked at him and said, I bet my friend it's time to go home. You look very tired. Those are the signs of somebody who's tired. When you see somebody go in the gym and start looking car and start thinking those cars are moving, you have to know this guy, his time is up to go home. He did his best. You can call about the person exercise too much that he become confused. He's looking at cars, the car is moving. Actually, the car is not actually moving. It's just that the guy have worked so hard that he's ready to retire, but he doesn't want to retire. But the signs are obvious. You're tired, man. Let's go home. Because those cars that I'm seeing out there are not moving. They're still in place. So that's the joke of the day before I start pounding you with the information from heaven. So this is the thing. God created. I'm going to reiterate this message again. When they ask you a question, who is God? Don't go around and start using those old things. No. Who is God? It's very simple. He is the creator of the visible universe and the invisible universe. End of the story. Stay quiet. And that is the truth. Because the person who created something have control of that thing. Anything that goes in and anything that goes out. That's who God is. It comes back to support what I stated earlier, that no one have control other than God. You can be president, you can be secretary, you can be anything you want. When God said, this is my time, it is his time. There's one thing that many men should know. When God wanted to move, when God gives time to the devil to do his dirty work, that will end up later on in the advantage of God. When it is God time, anybody who will interfere will be wiped out. Many people have a wrong view of God, but they don't know who he is. Once God starts moving, that this is my time now, everybody will want to come and block God's advancement. He will wipe you out if you decide not to give up. So he created the universe, which is the invisible universe, bi-dimensional universe, and the visible universe and the visible universe. Each universe have rationality that support phenomena in those specific universe. Now, every single universe dimension have their own rational and irrational argument. So, in the visible universe, you have dimensions in which the one that we're living in exists. In the invisible universe, you also have multiple dimensions. Now, every single dimension have a specific time, but different from one another, but complementary for one another, to formulate a universal story as a whole, to formulate a song that will please God as a whole. That's the reason why everything is in order. Because when somebody passes away in this earth, it is not the end. It is not the end of that individual. It is the beginning. It is the end in this specific dimension of within the material universe moving into another dimension within the spiritual universe. And the time the person will kick in that universe will correspond to the same, will be similar to the same time the person kicked in when he came in this earth as a baby. They start counting one day old, 2 day old, and then whatever year he decide to exit, like the Congresswoman at 88. That's the year God decided to bring her. That was the end of her journey in this material universe. Now she moved into a dimension within the spiritual universe where the time will be also going to be counted. Okay, you have 1 day old in our universe. Coming back, going into the journey. Every dimension have a time. God created the universe, but he created time. What does he create time? He created time so that he can assess his creation and keep in place the truth, because time is the weapon of the truth. Anything that goes on, if you give time, you find out you want it or not. Now, yeah, I heard many people saying that God don't exist in time. They are wrong about that. The Bible even itself said that God himself said, I am the beginning and the ending. It is a continuous tense. It means God is a continuing beginning and a continuing ending. Come back to vouch the other statement in the Bible to say there's nobody before me and nobody after me. Because if somebody is a continuing beginning and a continuing ending, it means there's nobody in between, or there's nobody before him or nobody after him. It actually support the second statement instead, because it's continuing. There's nobody there who challenge him, because it's the continuing, it's a beginning. It's not that the begin or the end. He's the beginning and the ending. It's continuous things. Now, if God say I am the beginning and the ending, he's referring to time. You cannot talk about beginning and ending if you don't refer to time. So what is in between? It is all increment time into the ending. God is telling you a function in time as well, but different one, because I operate in a different dimension of the spiritual universe that oversee this dimension into the material universe, because the material universe derives from the integral invisible universe. The invisible universe, which is the real, which is the true thing, is the integral of creation, in which every single dimension of the material universe derived from. If you have studied mathematics, you have an integral, you have an entity made of one dimension, x, or made of two dimension, xy, or made of three dimension, xyz, or made of four dimension, xyz, y, or made of five dimension, xyz, w, y, and maybe t. You have those five dimensions. Now you can do a derivative, what is called a partial derivative, based on each individual dimensions, and you're going to get a derivation from that world integral number or variable of a specific space. So it is the same concept when it comes to how God created the material universe, because the material universe is a derivation of the integral spiritual universe using an algorithm that is not known to men. So the specific elements within a specific dimension within the integral invisible universe that God wanted to be materialized by using the derivative of the algorithm that exists in spiritual science and spiritual knowledge to create what we saw and what we see and what we're living into. That's what it is. It is what it is. So people must know with whom they're dealing with. God is the one who created this mathematics and all this stuff. Mathematics is everything. So when you're talking about bidimensionality of the universe, you're talking about the bidimensionality of a human being itself, that function, that have a material dimension within him. It is made of material, biological substances, and also made of spiritual substances. So you function as a spiritual being inside a clothing called the body, so that you can exist into the material, into this specific dimension of the material universe. So every single dimension have the specific time that is particular to the dimensionality and complementary to any other dimension, either within the same universe or the next universe as well. So that's why when your life end up here is not the end, it's just the end of your existence into this dimension of the material universe, and you're going to transition to a different time into another dimension of the spiritual universe for the continuity of your journey, of your spiritual growth. This is something that people are missing. They don't know with whom they're dealing with, who God is. When they ask you a question, who is God? You have to say, God is the creator and the architect of the visible universe and the invisible universe. Then you have answered everything. Who are you? You were created in the image of God so that you can fulfill his divine purpose that he have installed into you. And many people come to this earth and they get distracted by the thing like car, money, women, sex, and power. And they end up before God and God say, show me the growth of your spirit. I see no change. The way I sent it is the same way it's coming back to me. But I created this algorithm called a human being. It means the spirit, which is the true you inside of a clothing called the body, so that you can deal with the reality of the dimension in which you exist into the material of the material universe, so that you can grow by killing your flesh. What is the flesh? What is the definition of the flesh? The flesh is a human decision that is different from God's decision to achieve something. That is the definition of the flesh. It is an individual or people decision that is different from God's approach in order to achieve something. In other words, it means taking matter in your own hand. That is the flesh. But now God is saying, in order for you to have a spiritual growth, you have to accept the killing of your flesh. Instead of doing things with your own reasoning, you have to ask for God for guidance to guide you. Now let's go with Donald Trump. President Donald Trump, I have a message for him and for the United States. First of all, he's very protected. Donald Trump is protected by the cherubim and the seraphim. Those are very vicious angels that will kill any enemy. You see, that man is not perfect, but he's the choice of God for this specific time. And God chose him there so that he can fulfill things that will please the kingdom of heaven. No man. That's why people have this confused. And God came and said, the same way I left Obama there for 8 years, and I have to deal with homosexuality, and I have to deal with abortions, and I have to deal with many things that are contradictory to my kingdom. So as America gonna have to deal with Donald Trump for the next 8 years. What is difficult? He asked. So you want God to stay there and please and just stay there and accept what will please you? Do you created this universe? Do you ever know how to create a universe? So when you will come and tell God what to do, you're gonna have to deal with Donald Trump for the next 7 years. That's the decision made in heaven, and it's done. Now, anybody who's gonna come after him gonna fail. Now, the lady that is coming, that's what God said. Okay, and that's what it is. He's not a perfect man, but he's in there because of God. Period. Now, the lady that's coming after him for sex, that lady, God revealed to me that she is there for something that people are not seeing right now. She is not there for money. She did it because she want to have a show. She want to move to the next level of her life. She want to have a book written. She knew that. She consult with a lawyer. I'm going to have to go and sue him. She knew that her lawyer told her. The lawyer told her that you're going to lose because you signed this agreement. You must your chance of winning is 0. She knew that. So what she wanted to do, she already a porn star. Now she's saying, well, I wanted to remit his money. It's just a false reason. That's not the true reason. When God read her heart and mind, this is what her purpose. Her purpose is to look for a next contract, TV show, book, go up into TV and start asking her, how was the sex with the president? How does he do? How did all this girl? Because that's what she's looking after. The money she's going to pay, the $20 million, she's going to get it back. She knows what she do. She's moving to the next level of her life. Maybe she's already tired about doing porn things. Now she want to move into celebrity stuff, high level. That's why she's doing what she's doing. God said. Now, President Trump will be protected by God. That anyone who come after will lose. Any Democrat, this is your downtown. Okay, just take it like that. Force your party and start looking after 7 years. Unless Trump does something, because a human being, that will give God no option of saying, well, somebody else. But I don't believe he will. If he follow what I've written to him, he will be fine. God said, if he follow what I've written to him, he know what I wrote to him, he will be fine. That's all. Because see, the enemy is very clever, because it's Luciferian thing. Lucifer is still ruling the reality of this earth. So seeing a person like that God put in place, piss him off. He's very mad of Trump. But the point is, God hid Trump from Lucifer. So when Trump was making his money, and doing the apprentice show, Lucifer was thinking, he's just a celebrity, he'll go nowhere, God blinded everybody. God blinded even Lucifer on Trump. So when he became president, and Lucifer was like, damn, what's came from? Now there's no way to beat him because he have the money that Lucifer used to control people. So what Lucifer have to do? Create situation like this. The Russian investment, a woman coming and say I have sex with him to damage his image. That's what it is. Because he have no other path to take him down. So that's how God works. The creator and the architect of the visible and the invisible universe. You're going to deal with him. You want it or not. Now the message to the President Paul Biya of Cameroon. There was a spiritual guide called, he's a Dr. Patrick Gisonge. He stated that President Biya will die before the election, which is August of this year. God said to me that it is correct. He's supposed to die. It was already scheduled. But because of his change of heart and the controversy that exists in the country, he changed the heart to do the right thing this time. God avoided his death and extended his death, giving more days so that a path for the righteous person can be put in place. It means God is preparing for the right person to come in place by keeping him alive, because now that he changed his heart, what God said, he will remove many of the bad people who surrounded him and put them aside and give an opportunity to another generation of people who think differently. That's the change of heart he has right now. The way he is right now, he already chose that path. He will not look back because he wanted to live with honor. So now he will put everybody aside that will not work according to what he desires right now. So that's what God says. So God avoided that sudden, that death that will surprise you, that's supposed to surprise him. What Patrick Songa said was correct. So now that he started listening to some true people that God have sent around him, he was granted extra days. Nobody knows when somebody will die, only God knows. But God can actually tell you that person he knew, because he functioned with those angels and he functioned with the kingdom of God. So he knew, they told him, and that was correct. What Patrick Gisonge stated, it was correct. The president was scheduled to be exiting before the election. So God have granted him, and God says allotment because he always have granted things based on circumstances. God is preparing for the righteous person to come in place. In the meantime, he will use him to wipe all the bad people around him and making sure that the path for the next person is in place. A person that he himself don't know yet. So that's where God will say is a price to pay. Good work, but thank you is a price to pay. Now let's the other person move forward. That's what God gonna do to him. But it's gonna be a good end for him compared to what supposed to be. All right. So the military and the lies on Gabriel and Dayton. The military people, they go around and call me electrician and call me all sort of things. They have released my information out there. You see how that lady came and talked about Donald Trump? Everybody not to sue them for what? Defamation of names and character. And the military is doing that to me, and nobody is telling them, stop it. Stop it, stupid folks. Let this young man live his life. Because you are in violation of the law. Nobody tell them that. Nobody tell them that. They're going around, who told you I'm an electrician? Are you mad in your head? When God created me, what he implanted in me is how to manage money. He put medicine in my head. He put mathematics in my head. He put spiritual science in my genomes. That's what I know. Anything else that came in between was part of my journey. I love to serve this country and I serve it well. But whatever I did over there was for the service of this country, nothing to do with my career. And to remind people is that even when I was in the military, I was already preparing my folder to apply for medical study within the Air Force. But it just was done at the time in which I was discharged honorably from the military, from the Air Force. So that's why. So you have to know that was not whatever I did over there was just to serve the country. That's it. End of the story. So whatever they're coming around and talking to people about is all about defamation and hate and not wanted used by Lucifer to try to destroy. Because that's what Lucifer does. When he knows that God told him, you can touch the life of this kid, you can take him out. Because God is the one who makes decision. Who's going to die or not going to die? Who's going to live or who don't going to live? Lucifer, when he was told that he can touch my life, now the only thing he got to do is to mix it up. By defamation, by mixing up my spiritual style, all this stuff. So that's what he does. But at the end, he's going to lose. Because there's a movie called God Always Win. It's a movie in heaven. It is called God Always Win. When you go there, you have to wash it before you can enter the capital of heaven. You also watch the story of Jesus Christ. You watch the movie of Jesus Christ. You read it, you want it or not, before you can enter the capital paradise where God is and the executive branch of his government. Yeah, that's the capital of heaven, of the entire heaven, situated in the third heaven, because heaven is big. There's the first heaven, second heaven, and third heaven. The first heaven is closer to the earth. The second heaven is where you see all the stars, and the third is where the capital is located. Okay, it is where the capital is located, and the capital of heaven is called paradise. All right, that is the 1500 cubic the Bible is referring to, because the 1500 cubic, many people are confused. They think that is heaven. It's not. It's not even close. Heaven is too big. It does expand. Heaven is spent. You can live over there for 2,000 years. You will never gonna know all the limit of heaven, because it does expand every single time. You're gonna have people saying there, say, I've been living in this place for 3,000 years. It seems like I just came in. It does expand. That's how great God is. God is saying, you're never gonna find me out. That's the message. Now, what was written for you during the birth, the position of the star that influences your birth, where God put all the wealth and blessing for you, it is what's going to be in your life. The people you're going to meet, the important people that will change your life, everything, it is written there. If your life said that you don't going to be a wealthy or rich man, you're only going to be there, you're going to work and make a decent life, that's what you're going to do. Even if everything you're going to do will be an illusion if it's not written in there. If it's not written in the spiritual universe, because it got to be written on the spiritual universe. What you see is the derivation of what exists into the integral invisible universe. So what we see at night is just what derives, is your reflection of the real. But your blessing is in the spirit. You put in there in those stars. And there is a big fight in second heaven as I speak between the demon, the angel of Lucifer, and the beneficial angel, the angel of God, to protect those who pray, who have a personal relationship with God, so that God can protect his own. We are all the creation of God, but not every one of us are the children of God. You have to make that distinction, because many people might say, no, that might not be true. When I refer to the children of God, I'm not referring that you are a child of God. I'm referring to children of God. It means that people that God will say, this is the people that I can trust. This is the children that have followed my command, that have obeyed my word. So I call them my children. So many of us are his creation, but the children here is a metaphor. It has two different semantics. It is written using the same syntax, alphabetic syntax, but different alphabetic semantic. I mean, when I refer to children, you can refer to, we are the children of God because we were created in his image. Now we are the children of God because between us, among us, not between us, among us, there are those who decided to follow, to obey God's word and to follow his command. God called them my children. And there are those who decided not to follow his command and obey his word. And God don't consider like that. So God will not waste his time for people who cannot obey his word and follow his command. So he will maximize his time and on those who follow his command and obey his word, and give them additional protection. That's what it is. That's what it's all about. But those who don't follow his command and word, he will keep them the way they are, alive, until they decide themselves, when they continue to face challenges from Lucifer. We all face challenges from Lucifer, but it's more easy for us to have our problem solved, because when the demon come to you and then they see those angels that are powerful than them, they run away. But when they come around you, they don't see those angels, or they see angels that are not very powerful, you are in danger, because those angels are going to have to call for what? For support. But that doesn't happen the way you think. You are the one who have to trigger that. It means your faith have to trigger that. It is giving according to what you put in. If your faith is stronger, God function with it. Every time that your angel fight with a demon that want to come against you, the angel will only win that battle if your faith is strong. If your faith is not strong, God going to tell him to retire until that person's faith becomes strong. That's the agreement that God have with Lucifer, because Lucifer challenged him in that. If you say that these people are who you say they are, let them function in faith. You will see. That's what the Bible is saying, that God said you're going to get many, but not all. It was based on that, because it is an agreement they have. You know, the guy came and tried to challenge God's nature, challenge God's power. What you want God to do? You want God to say, oh, you know what? You know, I will destroy you. You know, no, he can't do that. Because if God destroy you, people are going to say, maybe you're not too strong as you say you are. Why do you want to destroy somebody that you know that you can beat him if all your structure are very strong the way you say they are? So that's what God said in the Bible. Lucifer is very clever, because it's using what is established to come after a person, and God is also using the same to come after a person. When you see God using your nature against yourself, you have to know only God can do that. Only God can use a present nature against himself in time. So it is a real battle that you see. So you will see your protection, the level of protection depend on the level of your faith. The reason why you see Donald Trump protected like that is because he believes in God. He doesn't have a truly personal relationship with Jesus Christ right now. I know that because I'm in connection with heaven. But he loved God, which is okay. Because when you love the Father, Jesus Christ have no other reason than to support you. Now it is now the Father that will redirect those who love him to his Son. That's how it works. Because he is the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but through him. But for those who don't truly believe in him, or who don't have that affinity with him, they can go to the Father, and the Father will say, oh, welcome. Oh, how are you? How are you doing? How's your experience? But you know, I have my son out here. His name is Jesus. Do you want to know him? That's how God functions. You're never going to spend more than 3 hours with him without him talking about Jesus Christ. You mean that's not the true God you're seeing in somebody else? Now the point is this. You want to be able to fulfill your destiny. You have to follow God's word. You have to be able to stick with his word and apply that in your life. When Jesus Christ stated, obey my command, obey me, it means you willingly accept what you should have not if you have a choice. Now, follow my command, it means apply that into your life. It's not just to come and talk. Many people just don't comprehend. You can talk the way you want, but if you don't apply the word of God in your life, you're wasting your time. Because when you apply the word of God in your life, that is the testimony of your faith in him, and the foundation in which your relationship can be laid and function. I was also revealed that there are many churches today that the devil is the seed. I mean, he's the one behind. All of those churches where you see thousands and thousands of people, they are demon behind it to distract people from the true message. And the Luciferian machine are the ones sponsoring those churches in this planet. You will say, well, are you just jealous of people who have many thousands of people in their churches? No, I'm not. I'm just telling you what Jesus Christ revealed to me, which is the truth, because you can challenge Jesus Christ. What he says is what it is, because you don't know nothing. You think you do, but you don't. Now, when you see many of those churches, they do miracle. Let me tell you, when Moses went to the Pharaoh, Moses threw his baton on the floor, it became a snake. The magician of the Pharaoh did the same thing. It became the snake. And everybody was confused. I mean, who have the true power here? But only in time, like I told you, time is another name of God. The title of my presentation today, time, another name of the great architect of the universe. Oh, in time, people figured out who was the true, who was believing on the true God. The snake of Moses swallowed the snake of the Egyptian magician. That's how people knew that the God of Moses is a true one. So you're going to have those phenomena again and again and again into the time Jesus Christ return. You will have those false prophets saying stuff, healing people out of what? Out of the kingdom of darkness, making you think that it is God who is behind it, when actually it is demon. Those demons can also do miracle. God have given them ground to prove themselves. But like I tell you, God will use your nature to mix you up. You see, with Moses, he allowed the magician to also turn his baton into the snake, using his same power to humiliate him. Amen. You come with your nature, God said, no problem. I will take you out with your same nature. See, the snake of Moses swallowed the snake, and you just stay quiet. You put back and say, no, this one accept, I lost. So that's what people must know. The spiritual warfare that is expressed into the material realm. When you see a bridge that fell in a place like Florida, first of all, people have to find out it is a spell put in there in the spiritual. Now, whether there is a spiritual bridge into that location or there is not, there's two options here. If there is not a spiritual bridge into that location, it means the bridge was placed into the wrong location. That is not the case here, because that bridge have a reason to be there. It's going over a highway. I mean, people cannot cross the highway just like that, so that bridge have to be there, telling me that it was a spell put in place by the demon to destroy it and take some life. And the life of those people who died are the life of people that the demon have put spell on it for death. And that place was put as a spell to take those people. So when you don't have a personal relationship with God, there are certain protection that you're not going to have. If I was in that bridge, if I was in that bridge, many of the life of those people should have been saved. You know why? Because the protection I had, God should have avoided that bridge to fail when I'm in there. So as a positive consequence, the other people will have their life granted and Lucifer will be peace on me. You just saved 6 people. Because of you, I could not do this dirty work. So he will come after me. That's what it is. So when a person, the one person in an airplane that's supposed to go down can save the life of 200 people. If in that airplane, God is saying, according to how it will go down, he might be injured. So it's better to avoid it. When Lucifer comes before his face, he said, no, it will not happen. You have to know this. Every single thing that happened in this world, as evil as it can be, I know many people still don't digest this. As evil as it can be, it go before God. God have to put his signature to allow that. He's not the one who come up with those ideas, but he allowed that, knowing that it will work in his favor in time. Giving you an example in the Bible, God is the one who said to Abraham, I will destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. Destroy something is not a good thing in a year of people. You're going to kill people. So God destroyed an entire city. It means God killed people he believed were not living a righteous life and were trying to was trying to proliferate the entire earth with their way of living, which was unholy. So they have to go. So every single, that's in the Bible. I'm not inventing that one. So that is the proof. God is not changing. He means the same one. Every single evil thing that you can imagine that go on in this earth, Lucifer have to have permission for that from happening. Even the death of people, even the rape of children, it have to go to God. I know many people don't get it, but if you don't get it, it means that you don't know who God is, and even the Bible you're reading, you don't understand it. Because God is the one who said, I will destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. You don't think that they were killed in Sodom and Gomorrah? You don't think that there were children there? There were children there. But do the Bible say that there are some children that we found? Find that verse, please. No, everybody died there. So you have to know, give your life, what I'm trying to say here, give your life to God. He's the only one who can protect you through Jesus Christ. That's what I'm trying to say here. If I was in that bridge in Florida, let's say that the bridge is there and I'm below the bridge, I can assure you that if that thing's supposed to collapse, God should have sent his angel to put the wings out and hold it into a pass, into everybody clear. And I can assure you, I don't panic. I do not panic. When I was going to, let me give you my own example. When I was going to Iraq, we went as an expeditionary mission because it was needed. The Balad Air Force Base needed an expeditionary Air Force unit, and not even Air Force, a combined military unit made of the Air Force, Army, some Navy, and Marines. So we went there. We went to Germany in, I believe it was Amstein, Germany. We came back from Leipzig. So we arrived. We made a very quick destination in Canada, and from there we went to Germany directly, and from Germany we went to where? We went to Qatar, and from Qatar we didn't went to a regular airplane anymore. We took a battle plane, cargo. That's what we were. We were in a place of cargo, ready to go down if a missile come in place. With parachute and all these things. So I was confident. I was very confident. I didn't have a problem because my life was in the hand of God. One day we have a bomb coming into our base from outside, and the siren starts sounding. The bomb is coming. The bomb actually blow, and you can feel it. So after the event, my commander called me and he said to me, when I look at you, he said, I have too many children. I don't want to die here. I didn't know what he was talking about. I thought I did something wrong. He said, I don't want to die here. But I've been observing you. I've been observing you, and I realized that you have no panic in you. You have full confidence here. You don't think about dying. That's what he asked me. I was very surprised. And I looked at him and said, well, because that's not what I was expecting. I was thinking, because when the commander called you, it's because you're in trouble most of the time. So when he said that to me, he said, that was just a few minutes after we recovered from the bomb. So he said to me, when I look at you, you're so confident, you have no panic. Even when we were coming, you were very, very confident that I've never seen that before. In my 20 years in the military, everybody will go to a war zone. You can see that they are not in them, but you are different. I don't know. Can you tell me why you are like that? And I look at him in the eyes, and I said to him, my life is in the hand of God through Jesus Christ, and I have no panic. If my time is here, my time is here. If my time is not here, my time is not here. Simple. He looked at me and shook his head and said, you're correct. And he believed in it. And he himself came back normally. And I said to him not to panic. Regardless of what you see, if this is not your time to die here, you don't want to die here. Just give your life to God, to his son Jesus Christ. That's what I'm telling you. If I was in that place, those people will not die. Not because I have the power, but because of my relationship that I build with God through Jesus Christ. He have a purpose for me, and that death was not my purpose. I just end up to be there, and sometimes God use it. Sometimes God use like that to be clever against Lucifer. When Lucifer have a plan to take life of people, God put somebody there that is supposed to die. So when Lucifer come back and say, those people are supposed to go, God said no, they can't go because I have my person there. So it's voided. It is done. When God said it's done, you know what it is. It means that disappear. Get a heck off my face. Get a heck off my throne. Or get a heck off the communication line. That's what it meant. And don't even try to do otherwise, because I'm controlling that. If you try, I will chain all those demons that you're gonna send there. Right away. I'll chain them in hell. And many demons are chained in hell. Those that you see chained in hell, it's because they have violated what was not in the agreement. That's what it is. They broke what was not in the agreement. So God decided to chain them, to restrain them. That's what it is. It's not because they're judged. They're not judged yet. They will be judged when Jesus Christ returns for the second time. So before further ado, I would like to thank you for listening to this, and I hope that many of you will have a better days and listen to the message and give your life directly to Jesus Christ to protect you. And stop being part of conspiracy. Stop being part of things that you know will not please God. Wash your hand out of evil activities if you want to continue to be protected by God. This is my advice that I'm giving you. I'm not the perfect person. I don't have any power, but I believe truly in the power of God through Jesus Christ. That it is real, and it is the power that is invisible to protect his own, one of his own, to the fullest. And next time I will develop more into this. So without further ado, I'll leave you. You can get me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, on YouTube as well, and many other social media like Pinterest, and you get to the news. And I hope the president get to this message, both President Trump and President Biya. This is a good day for both of you. President Biya is supposed to exit before August, but God granted him another I don't know if it's couple days or a couple years or something like that. But he's gonna get to that election, and that is the preparation of the next leader in that country, that he doesn't know himself. That's all. God gives you something, and he also gets you in something else. Donald Trump, protected by God, and according to the plan, according to how God put it in heaven, he will be there for the next 7 years. It means he will win the second election. Whatever the Democrat will try to do, I'm not telling you not to do what you got to do, but at the end he will be there if you follow what he know he have to follow. Fulfill his promise and give his life to God through his son Jesus Christ. That's what you got to do. He'll be fine. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Gabriel and Icon, the child of God, and the message of God, and the ambassador of the heaven on earth has spoken. Thank you.